Happy Wellness Wednesday. Today, I want to talk about father wound because we have been talking about father wounds, but I want to make sure you know what a father wound is, how it can impact you in your current adult life, and why it's important for us to address it. So, first things first, think about father wounds as wounds that come from being fathered improperly. Whether your father was absent and you never knew him, or maybe he was present, you knew him, but maybe he was inconsistent. Maybe he was abusive. Maybe he was there in the home but was emotionally unavailable. All of those are examples of father wounds. Now, the reason why it's so important for us to talk about father wounds is because when we have that wound and it is not addressed, it festers, it impacts us, and it um, negatively shows up in the way we see ourselves, the way we see others, the way we see God, even. But also, it impacts us in how we navigate life from the decisions we make or don't make, the confidence and capability that we feel like we have or don't have. So, father wounds, addressing it is important. Now that we know what father wounds are, I want you to think about fathers and the roles that they play. Now, y'all that know me, you have heard me preach about the importance of fathers, right? Fathers, I just need to pause and celebrate you all because you are important. You play such an important role in your children's lives and in different ways. Daughters are impacted by their fathers, and sons are impacted by their fathers in different ways. Regardless, daddies, we need you. You're important. And one of the roles that y'all play is to provide protection, a sense of identity, and if you're healthy and you are there and you are setting boundaries, you really have the opportunity to become the first space and place that your child, especially your sons, learn about authority, about discipline, about respect. You really get to play a huge role in developing those aspects of them as young boys that are eventually going to grow into men that are going to be in society. So when fathers are not present, or they are emotionally unavailable, or they are abusive, then a child is impacted. In the world of mental health and psychology, we talk about things called harmful core behaviors or beliefs, rather. And these beliefs are what we think about ourselves. Am I lovable? Am I important? Do I have value? Do I mean something? And when a daughter or a son has a father wound, those are the areas they begin to question themselves, specifically with the identity, right? Because fathers, you all get to speak into your children's lives and let them know who they are, that they are valuable, you are important. And so when children do not have that, they struggle in their identity, their recognition of their value. It is negatively impacted. And I'm a woman, right? And so one of the areas that I work with women on who have experienced father wounds is their identity. Specifically, a lot of women who have father wounds find themselves looking for love in all the wrong places because there is a part of them that is continuously looking to be affirmed and validated. And had they had a healthy relationship with their biological father, that area and space would not be left open. So, this is one of the reasons why father wounds have to be addressed and the way they show up. For sons, I work with a lot of men who are dealing with father wounds, and because they were not affirmed at early ages, they were not taught how to make decisions, how to think. They are struggling in their confidence. And so when it comes time for them to show up in relationships, to show up in leadership roles, they struggle because they are not confident in their abilities to make decisions, to think things, to think. Now I know that sounds weird, but as parents, our role is for us to raise children that are going to be adults who can think, right? Who know how to think, who know how to make decisions. But if there is a father wound, or if they have had improper parenting, or just parenting, you're doing the best you can with what you got, there is the opportunity for that son to struggle with the roles and the responsibilities, because who showed him, right? If a father was absent, who showed him, who role modeled for him what it means to do X, Y, and Z? Now, that's not to say that as a son, as a man, that you're not out here doing it, right? But a lot of times when there have been wounds and trauma, we make what's called inner vows. And these inner vows typically sound like, I ain't gonna never. And so when you find yourself with the I ain't gonna nevers, that is what your focus and attention becomes fixated on. And oftentimes, what you're fixated on, what you're focused on, is what you tend to get. I have a very good friend, and he says to me all the time, you go where your eyes take you. And so, if you're always focusing on what you don't want because of the father wounds, then that's oftentimes what you end up with. So, healing father wounds is so important so that you can start to show up as the healthiest version of yourself. And so, for the ladies, it's time to get healed so that you can start moving differently, especially in your role as a mother. If you're looking for a partner, right? It is important for you to know that you are valuable. You are enough. Your voice matters, and you don't have to earn someone's love through performance. Sons, husbands, fathers, men, it's important for you to address and to deal with your father wounds, because if not, it's impacting the way you show up. And so when it comes time for you to make decisions, it's a little boy that's stepping up. And sometimes that fear is driving you, and it is stopping you from walking boldly and fully in the role and in the area that you're called to walk in. So I wanted to take some time today on this Wellness Wednesday to teach about that, and then to also invite you to the Healing Hub that we're having this month. And this particular topic is father wounds. We're talking about it, what it is, how it impacts you, so that you can start showing up differently. Specifically for the men who have children, I really want you there, because I want you to recognize how you're